I can have your attention. We'll go ahead and continue our driver media availabilities in advance of Sunday's Overton's 301 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race. We're joined now by the driver of the number 18 Interstate Batteries Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch. And Kyle, given the relative limited amount of time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the questions from our media.
All right.
We'll start right up front here. Go ahead, Rich, and then we'll go right over here to Brad.
Hi, Kyle. Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. You're one of the few multiple winners on this track. Why is it so difficult for one team to just dominate this place?
I think it's challenging just because the effect of traffic and, sometimes not being able to get through traffic as well as you want to, and, being challenging with the aspect of being able to pass here. There are some times where the guys that do have really, really fast race cars can pass and get through traffic okay. And get back to the front, but that doesn't seem to happen year after year. It's not like you can just shelf a car and put it to the side and say, that's our Loudon car, we're going to bring that thing back. And it just doesn't quite work that way. So, the things change around here with tires and the way you get around here, the bumps change and the character of the racetrack changes. So, with one guy's set up 4 years ago might be good 4 years from now. And, that's an 8-year span. So, or vice versa. It just might be that you were good here 2 years ago and you've kind of lost what you had that was good because the track has changed on you.
We'll come over here to Brad, then we'll go back to this side.
Brad Norman with NASCAR.com. Kyle, you've got Eric coming on board as your teammate next year, and you I don't know if say you discovered him or found him, but you certainly have a long history with him. You helped develop him certainly in your truck program. Is it gratifying for you to see a guy like that early and watch him work his way up and ultimately become your teammate? Yeah,
I think the Eric Jones story is certainly rewarding. I think it lends itself to us racing against each other in the super late model ranks, back in 2011 or 12, whichever year it was. I raced against him at the opening race of the year in January, and then at the end of the year that year in December at the Snowball Derby. And, it was certainly, a welcoming, to NASCAR for him and being able to have him beat me in that race. But overall, he's done a great job with what he's been given, and being able to put him in the right places with the right people and having him come through the Kyle Busch Motorsports truck program, onto the Xfinity program at Joe Gibbs Racing, and then into the Cup program. That's how you see those feeder programs work. But it's not that you're going to have those feeder programs working year after year because there's not enough seats. You can't have. I did have Eric. I have had Daniel come through our place as well too. But if you look at it now, that's me, Denny, Daniel, and Eric. So either myself or Denny are the next two out if I continue to feed them through KBM as quickly as I have been. So, we're watching our backs, that's for sure. But overall, it's been a neat experience. It's been a fun experience, and having Eric do as well as he's done is rewarding for me, for us at KBM, and being able to see him succeed.
We'll come back over here to the right and then to Jerry.
Amy Harrop, Race for Weekly. So last night you tried your hand at a late model at Thunder Road. So can you describe that experience and what went into planning that and how cool that was to be there?
Yeah, it kind of came together really quickly. It was about 6, 7, 8 days ago that my buddy from up here called me and said, hey, the guys at the racetrack want to know if you're interested. And I said, okay, well, sure. What kind of car, what are we racing and all that stuff. And it wasn't necessarily my favorite thing to come race in the ACT car, but it was fine, and I just thought I'd give it a shot. I'd never been to Thunder Road. I had to talk the wife into doing it and finding something for her and Brexton to do while we were up here. So, we got all that taken care of and went over there and got used to the racetrack kind of early. But, man, we started so far off with the race car and then came to where we were pretty good, pretty decent, and thought we actually had a shot to win. I blistered a right rear tire in 21 laps of the race, ended up spinning out, went back, got a practice tire put on to replace it, came back, got all the way back up to third, I think it was, and then my crew chief decided, hey, we better pit and put on our tires for the end, otherwise we're going to get run over, and I was like, I got the track position now, I don't want to have to go back there again. But anyways, I listened to him and went back in traffic and worked our way back up through, and I think we got up to as high as 5th or 6th, and then on a restart, I have no idea what the guy next to me was doing, but he just flat out drove right through me, put me in the front stretch wall, which made me climb the wall, and because the wall's off camber to the racetrack, so I climbed the wall and then got off the wall, spun around, and everybody else missed me. That was behind me in the field, but after that, everything was knocked out of place with the car. The steering wheel wasn't right; it didn't feel right, and so it just was, we were done for the night. So, you know, may have an opportunity to come back. We'll see. We'll see what the racetrack wants to do, and you know, and what'll happen next year. It was certainly fun. I enjoyed it all until I got ran over. So, you know, thought I had a shot to win. Being where I was actually the guy that ended up winning the race. He was ahead of me when we came out of the pits on that tire cycle, and I passed him through that run, and then was ahead of him when I got taken out there. So he ended up winning the race. I thought I had a shot. So maybe next time.
We'll stay over here to your right to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net, PRN. Well, you've had a lot of success at the track we're going to next week. Can you talk about going into Indianapolis with this new package and the stage racing? You looking forward to your success going back there?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, I look forward to Indianapolis every year now. We've certainly picked up on something the last couple of years that have made us really good there, and we've been fast over the years. It's just the last 2 years have been really good for us. So certainly hope that we can take the same powerful equipment and car and everything and have a good shot at being able to win that race. You know, we would certainly like to get it 3 in a row. That would be nice. That'd be special. That'd be something unprecedented no one's ever done. So I look forward to that and seeing what this new aero package at Indy has in store for us. I think it's a little bit of both. I think I figured a little bit of something out, but I also think that me figuring something out has helped us be able to develop our car better too. You know, like the setup-wise, I know what I need within the car now. That makes you faster at Indy than what I had been running in the past.
We're going to go to the left rear here to Zach, and then Jeff, and then come to Pat.
Zach Tanzwetti, French Touch. Obviously, you're disappointed that Matt's out of the 20 car for next year. Do you see him getting an opportunity in the Cup Series? Dale Jr. said that he feels pretty good that he will. What are your thoughts on his career for next year?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I said last week, you know, Matt and I have had a great relationship since we've been in this sport. Knock on wood, we've never had any issues with one another. We've never gotten into it, and so I hope to keep it that way. You know, he's been a fantastic teammate. Denny and I actually courted him when we knew Joey was leaving, and so we wanted some experience in there. We wanted somebody that we knew would be capable of contending with us and racing for championships, and so, you know, it was cool that we could have him join us. It's unfortunate that we're at a cap, and we can't continue to grow the organization at Joe Gibbs Racing. But you know, it's tough to see Matt step aside and not be able to race with us any longer. As far as where he goes from here, I have no clue. Literally, I try to pay as little of attention to silly season as I possibly can, as long as it doesn't endure me. So, you know, I certainly hope and would like to think that Matt Kenseth can find a ride, because I think he's got another whatever he wants to race in him, and I'm sure that he believes that's probably another 3 years or so at least. And so if he can find that, man, then I'd love to still have him out there and race against him every Sunday.
We'll go to Jeff and then Pat.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. It looks, Kyle, like there's a middle strip of VHT on the track that's fairly wide, and then there's some sort of a smaller strip down at the very, very bottom. Is that what you were hoping for, and what kind of input did you have in that process?
I think what they were just trying to do is we always run that one lane here, which I call it the middle lane, you know, and so they were just trying to widen the racetrack a little bit and give a little bit more opportunity for us to be able to run side by side and not just feel like we're crashing here all the time or running into each other on restarts and whatnot. So I don't know. Until I get out there and feel it out, we'll see how it goes. But it was discussed through the driver council, and I like it when they do that instead of just spurring it on all of us when we get to the track. So then if it doesn't work, then it's just their bad idea. But at least if it's the council's involved, then it's all of our bad idea. So, you know, as of right now, we'll just have to wait and see until we get out there.
Come right up here to Pat, please.
Pat DeCola, NASCAR.com. Kyle, with the success of the Gibbs and KBM feeder programs, like you mentioned, would you like to see that 4-team cap at the Cup level eventually reassessed, maybe?
Yes and no. I mean, it's hard to reassess that, because if we continue to grow to 5 or to 6, then that means you're probably taking away from the other teams that are lower on the stables. So it's a double-edged sword. You know, obviously you want to have more good teams out there. That's going to elevate the sport. It's going to make the sport stronger and tougher. But you're not going to have as many new owners coming in because they just feel defeated before they even get started. So that's kind of where you're at and where the balancing act has to take place. So that's in NASCAR's hands.
Stay on the left side and go back here to Dustin.
Dustin Albino, FrenchDutch.com. Kyle, talking a little about your truck team, how do you think Noah's progressed so far throughout the season?
I think Noah's progressed well. It certainly started out shaky and rough, at Atlanta. And, we had a practice spin at Charlotte and Kansas. Can't remember what happened. I think he was just kind of a little bit off the pace at Kansas. But he's really good at the short tracks. Martinsville was good. Iowa was good. Gateway was okay. They had to start in the back because we had an issue under the hood. That was our fault. So, but last week was probably the most impressive to me at Kentucky. No one informed him of the drainage grate, so he went four-wheeling through the infield there for a lap and spun. But we chalked that off as another race that Noah spun in, but at least he was able to recover. He brought it back to a solid top 5 finish. So couldn't be more impressed with that. And all of that bad things, that all happened in the final segment, so he didn't have much time to make it all back up, but he did. So that showed progress and what him and that team is capable of. So hopefully we can continue that on. This is the second half of the year now. You really got to show what you're made of and win a couple times and get him ready for a championship season next year.
Do you have any additional questions for Kyle? We'll go right back here to Nate. One more to Jerry up front.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Kyle, at Kentucky, there was one point where I think Adam Stevens was asking you, what can I do to fix the car? And you were like, I don't know. It's the same things every week. Is it frustrating right now that it seems like you're at one level and can't quite get to that next level like where the 78 and the 42 are?
Yes, it certainly is. Each week we go to the racetrack hoping that we have prepared the best possible car we can, that it's the number one car, that it's going to be a half a second faster than the field. But in all reality, when you get out there and you get to the racetrack, your temptations kind of get slapped in the face a little bit. So we just got to mind our own business and do what we're doing, and hopefully we can continue to evolve and get better. I feel like our setups are really close. The thing that's most frustrating is when your car balance is okay, but your speed is off. So when your car balance feels good and you don't have any speed, there's nothing you can do to fix it. But when your speed is there and your car balance is off, and you have something that you can fix to make your car faster, then you've got a chance. So we're kind of on the first end of the spectrum right now, where the cars are driving pretty good. It's just that's as fast as I can make it go. It won't go any faster. So we're just limited a little bit, and we just got to continue to work on speed and see what we're missing. And obviously, it's the biggest question of the universe right now, probably, which is why the 78 is outperforming the house cars. So we're just as confused and disgruntled by it as probably others. I do not have a theory. I wish I had a theory. I've had probably 10 theories since they've joined us, and none of them are true. So I'm done with theories.
We'll finish up right up front here with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTires.net, PRN. I want to follow up on one other question. You talked about the 14 cap. Do you have any plans to take KBM to a cup level series? You've got a really nice organization over there.
Yeah, no. No. The simple answer is no. The long answer is just because there's no competing with the structure that these teams have that have had it for 20 years. It's people. I'm not going to start up an organization and be able to hire the best of the best people without just outspending everybody else. And obviously without huge sponsors, which are hard to come. It's hard to find small sponsors these days. So I don't see it feasible in this day and age. Yeah.
Kyle, good luck this weekend. Thank you.